Poetic had a question, and if Poetic has a question, that means other people probably have the same question, so I figure I'd go ahead and answer that question. He says, let me get this straight. You now have a fellow activist assisting you with nailing another activist to the law of exposure. That is not correct. Whatever Padilla's interests or involvement in this, he is not aiding me. He's not assisting me. He's doing his own thing. He is apparently enjoying the information I'm putting out, and he's mirroring it or directing people to it or whatever, and that's fine. But he's certainly not assisting me. I do have people feeding me information, and that's their right to do. But my goal is not necessarily to expose Earl in the way that most people think that it is. I don't really care about the common knowledge, the public information that he's a registered sex offender. He's on the websites for being a registered sex offender. You don't have to go through a whole hell of a lot of trouble to expose that. My interest is in that. This goes back to the old Chicken Hawk deal where he was, him and Chicken Hawk were telling people how to do counterintelligence operations against the cops or whatever, when these idiots didn't realize that just by putting these videos on YouTube, they were defeating everything they were talking about. My issue with them is that they are making statements relying on their credibility as insert whatever here. Chicken Hawk's relying on being a super secret agent. Earl is relying on being a federal law enforcement agent or an ex-federal law enforcement agent. Earl was never a federal law enforcement agent. His timeline doesn't match up for anything on it. He doesn't have a high school diploma, let alone a college degree. He never was a federal law enforcement agent. But that's really hard to prove. So I am hunting documents to prove that he never was. I mean, it's obvious he never was because he has a GED. He was arrested for his sexual assault at age 24 after he was in the Army for 3 years. I mean, math. And he was a security guard when he was arrested. So it doesn't work. It doesn't pan out. I was hoping to avoid all this with Earl simply coming clean. I gave him the opportunity in Bunny Boot Server to simply come clean. He chose not to do it, so now I'm digging. And I'm not going to waste my time digging if I come up with information that I think people might find interesting, like the fact that he's snitching people out, like the fact that he's snitching me out and he's claiming to be a well, he didn't say federal informant, but he said he's working with the feds. And the only way an ex-con with his jacket is working with the feds is as a snitch. So, 1 and 1 make 2. I don't need that much prompting. Unless he's lying about working with the feds, and that could be 2. But I know he's a snitch because he snitched on me. I know he's a liar. So, whatever way you slice it, it doesn't really matter much. So that's what's going on. I don't really have any interest in Earl's criminal record or anybody else's criminal record for that matter, unless they're relying on their record to make them an expert and are giving people bad advice based on being an expert when they're not an expert. So there you go. Hope that answers it. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.